Well, according to a new study of Census Bureau data, Florida is ground zero when it comes to rents outpacing incomes.
Ideally, no one should pay more than 30% of their monthly income for housing. Nationwide, more than a quarter of renters are now paying more than 30%, and the number is growing. In Florida, the problem is the worst in the country. 62% of renters here pay more than 30% on housing, and 1 in 3 renter households in Florida spend more than half of their income on rent. Among the metropolitan areas with the nation's highest rates of rent burden, 7 of the top 10 are located here in Florida. Cape Coral leads the way with more than 2/3 of renters facing burdensome rental costs, followed by Miami at 65%, Tampa and Orlando at 61%, and Northport at 60%.
Ray, why is this happening? Don't we have enough housing, or are wages too low, or is there something else?
Well, I mean, we definitely don't have enough housing. Yesterday it was nice to watch Tampa City Council Abby Feely get confirmed in her new role. She talked about housing going up at 80% AMI, but I wrote this down looking at the numbers. AMI in Tampa, 67K, 53K is 80% of that. If you're making $29 an hour and working actually 80 hours a week, you're still making 62K, and that's well below that, right? So we can continue to build housing. What's been disappointing to me about this conversation, all these studies, is as we champion affordable housing and building these developments, why aren't we talking also robustly about rental assistance? These are great programs that help with first, last month's rent, things like that. And they've been funded, and we talk about them, but we don't talk about them with the same gusto that we do as far as building the housing. So I would love to see the conversation change on that. I talked with a friend yesterday that sells apartments. He argued that a lot of places are giving you the first 2 months rent free. There's too much housing. But that housing's at this higher price. We're talking about people at the lower end here who are renting the cheapest apartments who just can't keep up.
Mitch, I wonder where service workers and blue-collar workers are going to live if this is the trend here in Florida.
Yeah, I mean, it's a housing crisis in America, but Florida was trying to adjust to this and deal with this. 2023, the Live Local Act, which was Senate President Kathleen Passidomo's big signature bill to address workforce housing they talked about. It's not really working that great. They tweaked it last year, and I'm just learning, Orlando dropped out last week. Several counties, Orange, Osceola, they're not going to deal with this. Pasco County's had big issues with Live Local, too.
Was the idea to build more local housing?
Well, it was offered for more to the AMI, but a higher AMI, so not so much even affordable housing, but workforce for like firefighters, policemen. But I saw there was a report by the Florida Policy Institute that came out the other day that says 83% of the assessed areas are unaffordable for a 3-person family on the average salary of a firefighter with what even the offers there with the incentives. They basically gave a lot of tax incentives to developers with this Live Local, and that was supposed to address this. That bill, by the way, also got rid of rent control and other measures that local cities like St. Petersburg and Tampa were doing to deal with the crisis here locally here. So the legislature needs to do more on this. It's a big problem. There's no easy fix, obviously, but this is disturbing.